What's going on, everybody? So we have a major cold front coming this weekend. October is welcoming us deer hunters with a bang. I am super pumped. It is go time. Scrapes are starting to open up. Bucks are starting to show up on camera more often, and I am super pumped to get into this. So what exactly am I going to do over the weekend? And if you had one day to choose to hunt, which one would probably be your best option to choose? So let's get into it. So let's take a real quick general look at what the weather's going to look like in one of my locations. This exact graph may be slightly different for you where you are in your location, so make sure to check your weather and just check your timing to see if it matches up with what I'm looking at, but you want to be more precise with what exactly is going on in your area. This is going to be pretty close for the heart of the Midwest, but as you get further east, further north, and further south, it could change just slightly, so make sure you're just checking your weather and staying on track with your timing. So I use Weather Underground for my mapping system. I really like it. I like the detail it gives me, and something I really like is this line graph. When I get onto the web version, it gives me a line graph here for the barometric pressure, and I can match it up with the temperatures. So I want to point something out. This area right here, where the temperature is at its lowest and the barometric pressure is at its highest, that right there means that that is a extremely high odds hunt. Most of that's going to be overnight, as you see, but Friday evening and Saturday morning are going to be extremely good hunts. And to be honest with you, Saturday all day should be a really good hunt. It's going to be mid-60s. It's going to start off in the morning in the mid to low 30s. And then let's dive down into the wind, okay? So Friday, going to be very windy all day. Now, most of that day may be extremely slow movement. You may not see much at all, except that last 30 minutes to an hour of daylight when that wind drops off. Okay, so let's see here. We got a 6 p.m. time. It's showing 13 mile an hour. 7 p.m. time showing 8 mile an hour. That last 30 to 60 minutes, I have killed multiple bucks on my wall during this time. The front is moving in during that day. Temperatures will not get as high during the day as they did the day before, but the morning temperature is just the tiniest bit below the day before, but it's not as cold as it's going to get yet. Going to be extremely windy all day, which means the deer are going to stay hunkered down for most of the day and in bedding cover. Now, the moment that wind breaks, you are going to see a serious increase in deer movement. That happened with my 9-point in 2021. It happened with my 170 in 2021. I've shot multiple other bucks on my wall during an evening time like this, where it's windy all day, and the wind died right at the end. So any kind of extreme change is what we're looking for to kind of force these deer, in a manner of speaking, to get on their feet and move. And then you've got Saturday morning. Saturday morning is going to be very similar to what I dealt with my Iowa buck when I shot him at first light. It was extremely high wind all day before, and it really didn't die that evening. It stayed windy through on into dark, and it died overnight. And then it was extremely cold that next morning, and zero wind, basically, is what I had. And I ended up shooting him right at first light. So last light Friday and first light Saturday could be really, really good hunts. That's your best opportunity. If I had one day to choose which one I would go with Saturday, just because you've got a very high odds hunt of seeing activity all day. Now, don't discount Friday evening. If you can be in a tree Friday evening, be in a tree Friday evening. If you've got active sign with scrapes, and you're on a buck and you know a general area about where he uses more often, go hunt that spot. That's going to be an extremely good evening to hunt once that wind dies off. And if it doesn't die off, make sure you get out of there with very, very, very minimal disturbance, and you'll be good for the next morning hunt. So if you've been wondering when to get a little bit more aggressive with your hunting, you don't want to go in too aggressively too early, especially if the weather's not right. That's just kind of blowing your hunt out before you get a really good opportunity at hunting this deer. If you've got a buck on camera, somewhat on pattern, you know where he's at, you know where he's bedding, and even if you've got some sign open up, you've got some scrapes open, now's the time to get a little bit more aggressive than you have been. Go in and get them. There's a very good chance that you can put your target buck on the ground right now on active movement. This is also a fantastic weekend to pick up some scouting post front. More scrapes are going to be opened up. Scrapes are going to be opened up even more aggressively. You should probably start finding, say, a significant amount more rubs in the woods after this weekend. This weekend's really going to fire them up and will help us moving forward with camera placement, tree stand placement, and locating these bucks. Say you don't have a buck located right now, or you're trying to relocate a buck. This weekend could be extremely valuable with putting sign together and finding areas where this buck might be hiding, may have shifted off a little bit, and even figure out some pieces of the property that these deer are using more often that you might not have known about. So even if you don't kill your buck this weekend, it's an extremely valuable weekend to get out there, collect information, see what the deer are doing, how they're moving, where your food sources are, and where your main sign is starting to open up. The intel that you start collecting right now during this October lull period will lead into not only your pre-rut success, but could also lead into your middle of November and end of November success after that mature buck has come off of the lockdown, where he's no longer with the doe he's locked down with and breeding. He returns back to this area. You've already collected the intel on this area. Let him tell you when he's moving more often, what conditions, what wind direction, and so on. The list really goes on. This map right here is your friend. Let that buck tell you when he prefers to walk past that specific area and even use a specific scrape. So I hope y'all are just as fired up as I am. It's going to be a great weekend. I'm going to hunt Kansas Friday morning. I'm not going to be able to hunt Friday evening, which kind of sucks. Me and Dakota are going to be driving throughout the night Friday to get to Kentucky so we can hit Saturday morning hunt, and we're going to hunt Kentucky all through the weekend. So fingers crossed we get some good movement and hopefully put a buck or two down this weekend. So good luck to y'all. Have fun in the woods. Be safe. Shoot a big one. And as always, we appreciate y'all's support. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe button. See you on the next video.